Revelation chapter 15 invites us into a moment of holy stillness, a pause in the great unfolding, where heaven gathers its breath before the final movement of God's justice is released. It is a chapter of pure glory, where the veil of the heavenly sanctuary glows with fire, and the faithful stand victorious upon the sea that shines like crystal mingled with flame. Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Michelle, your inner light coach, and I'm grateful you joined me here today. Thank you for shining your presence here. This is Sunday Soul Sanctuary, and this video is about Revelation chapter 15, the Sea of Glass and the final plagues. Here, we witness 7 angels, radiant in pure linen and girded with gold, carrying the last plagues, not as instruments of chaos, but as bearers of God's final righteous completion. And before them, the redeemed lift up the ancient song, the song of Moses and the song of the Lamb, a hymn that stretches from the shores of the Red Sea to the throne of eternity. Revelation 15 is the calm before the storm, the hush before the final bowls are poured out. It is the moment where heaven itself becomes a sanctuary filled with smoke, where the glory of God is so intense that no one can enter until his work is finished. As we step into this chapter, let your heart settle into the awe of it, the beauty, the fire, the holiness that cannot be touched. This is the threshold of completion, the doorway into the final unveiling of God's justice and mercy intertwined. On our altar, from front to back, we have a clear crystal quartz symbolizing the purity of the Lamb, victory, and the angelic presence. The blue crystal plate with a golden border, symbolizing the sea of glass glowing with fire. The gold stone symbolizing glory and judgment. The gold bowl represents the 7 golden bowls symbolizing the 7 final judgments. The 7 tea candles represent the 7 angels in pure linen and gold sashes, symbolizing the 7 angels with plagues. The image of the harp representing the song of Moses and the Lamb. The white background with the gold sash represents the glory cloud symbolizing the glory of God. The tall candle symbolizes holiness, judgment, and victory. Revelation chapter 15, verse 1. John sees a great and marvelous sign in heaven, 7 angels holding the 7 last plagues, the final expressions of God's righteous judgment. This verse sets the tone. Heaven is preparing for completion. Verse 2. John sees a crystalline sea glowing with fire, and standing upon it are those who overcame the beast, the image, and the number. They stand victorious, holding harps of God, ready to worship. Verse 3. The redeemed sing a dual song, ancient and eternal, the song of Moses, deliverance from Egypt, and the song of the Lamb, deliverance through Christ. They declare God's works great and marvelous, his ways just and true. Verse 4. The worship continues. Who shall not fear you, O Lord? All nations will eventually recognize God's holiness and come to worship him. This verse centers the chapter in reverence and awe. Verse 5. John sees the heavenly temple, the tabernacle of testimony, opened. This signals that divine action is about to proceed directly from God's presence. Verse 6. The 7 angels come out of the temple, clothed in pure, bright linen, wearing golden sashes. Their appearance reflects purity, authority, and holiness. Verse 7. One of the 4 living creatures gives the angels 7 golden bowls, filled with the wrath of God. This is the moment of transfer, heaven placing judgment into angelic hands. Verse 8. The temple fills with smoke from the glory of God and His power, so dense that no one can enter until the 7 plagues are completed. This is the climax of the chapter. The holiness of God becomes unapproachable. Revelation chapter 15 is a transition chapter, short but blazing with glory. It moves from heavenly worship, victory over evil, the ancient and eternal song, the opening of the heavenly temple, the commissioning of the 7 angels, to the sanctuary filled with glory so intense no one can enter. It is the holy pause before the bowls are poured out in Revelation chapter 16. As Revelation chapter 15 comes to a close, we are left standing before a scene of pure holiness. A heaven filled with fire and crystal, song and smoke, victory and awe. This chapter reminds us that before judgment is ever poured out, worship rises first. Before the bowls are carried, the redeemed stand firm upon the sea of glass, singing the ancient song of deliverance. Before the final plagues begin, heaven pauses in a moment of radiant stillness. Here, the glory of God fills the sanctuary so completely that no one can enter. It is a picture of holiness that cannot be rushed, a reminder that God's justice flows from His glory, not from anger or haste. Everything He does is rooted in righteousness, purity, and truth. So as we step away from this chapter, may our hearts rest in the assurance that God's glory is greater than every storm that follows. May we carry the song of Moses and the Lamb into our own battles, remembering that victory is not something we earn. It is something we stand in. And may we hold fast to the truth that even in the most intense moments of God's unfolding plan, heaven is never chaotic. It is ordered. It is holy. It is filled with worship. The Lamb reigns, the redeemed stand, and the glory of God fills the sanctuary. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. Let's get back to love. God is good. Love and light to all. Stay thankful. Until next time, walk gently and shine brightly.